Salutations, everybody. It is with much appreciation that we return to our channel, where you have been faithfully receiving news, commentary, and insights pertaining to Christianity. You have found the ideal place if you are deeply committed to being truthful and transparent with people. We will go into a narrative that is both breathtaking and deeply disturbing this morning. The claims state that the Daystar television network, which was founded by Joni Lamb's wife and the late musician, has a pattern of concealing facts. This story unveils a side of Daystar that lies beneath its glitzy exterior, which few would have guessed existed. False accusations of misconduct, financial theft, and immorality are all part of it. Marcus and Joni Lamb's legacy has taken some heat recently. The couple's children, Jonathan and Susie Lamb, have accused their parents of covering up major accusations. The accusations state that the Lambs fabricated evidence to exonerate a family member who was deposed of domestic violence charges. The audio recordings and other information that has been made public online depict a horrifying picture of intimidation, deceit, and abdication of responsibility. Accusations of Daystar covering up wrongdoing are nothing new. In fact, they are far from unique. In 2010, the scandal surrounding Marcus Lamb's alleged infidelity rocked the network. It might resurface for some of you. Perhaps you have no idea that the woman who exposed this affair has just come out to tell the truth about what went on behind the scenes. The story of hush money, deceit, and ethical compromising is told in this truth. Pay close attention to the shocking confession that was made. Many people have been left reeling by the labyrinth of betrayal, deceit, and scandal that lurks beyond the Daystar television network's dazzling exterior. Workers at Daystar Television Network find hope and inspiration in the company's story. I experienced immense pain and suffering toward the end of my journey as Daystar's director of marketing, which began with high hopes and accolades. This is my story of how Joni Lamb lied to me, misled me, and eventually asked me to lie, and the disastrous consequences that followed. Starting in 2005, I was an intern at the Daystar Television Network. This past June, I was promoted to the position of Director of Marketing. Among the people that interviewed me for the position were Daystar co-founder Marcus Lamb and VP of Programming and Operations Janice Smith. I wanted to make sure the organization was being honest and forthright in all of its dealings, and as a devout Christian, the interviews were thorough. As part of their employment brochure, Daystar includes a verse from 1 Thessalonians chapter 55. The text stated, "We beseech you, brethren, to know them which labor among you and are over you in the Lord." Daystar is committed to the highest Christian principles, according to Marcus and Janice, who assured me when I asked about the company's ethics that chastity, humility, and purity were particularly valued. Daystar seemed like the kind of place where my faith and career could live side by side, thanks to these portrayals. Contrarily, I was unaware that Marcus and Janice had concealed a horrifying truth from me for the previous 2 years. I was recognized for my professionalism and the impact I had at Daystar because of all the effort I put in. It wasn't until August 2007 that an employee told me they had found emails that exposed a horrible truth. Unauthorized sexual relations were taking on between Marcus Lamb and Janice Smith. The emails revealed that the romance had persisted for 7 years. Among the explicit discussions and plans to use Daystar's resources for clandestine travel were the emails. My coworker and I were both notified by the person who found the emails before they left. Reading those messages was a heartbreaking experience. The two people persisted in engaging in actions that were counter to Daystar's professed commitment to Christian values, even though they had previously assured me of such. Even in their correspondence, Marcus couldn't contain his enthusiasm for the idea of Janice becoming Mrs. Marcus Lamb. Since I didn't know what to do, I consulted Fred and Anna Kendall, two veteran marriage counselors who had appeared on Daystar's main program, Celebration, multiple times. If their advice is to be believed, Marcus should step down as leader and discuss marital therapy options with his wife Joni. However, since the Kendalls opted not to confront Marcus independently, we are left to figure out how to address the issue. Ultimately, we decided that it would be best to notify Bill Trammell, Joan's father and a manager at Daystar. Following his review of the emails, Bill assured us that he would forward the information to Joni. Shortly thereafter, Joni contacted me to thank me for exposing the affair. Nevertheless, her reaction caused suspicions to be raised. It seems from the email that she had known her husband had been unfaithful for some time. On hearing the news, Joni made it plain that she wanted Janice Smith to leave Daystar immediately. Daystar gave her a residence and entered into a dubious consulting agreement to speed her departure. She received large sums of money without providing any similar services. Daystar kept Janice silent and made up a story about her sudden departure by using this hush money transaction. Joni told me to help with the cover-up anytime anyone asked about Janice's leaving from the company. It was my responsibility to disseminate the false information that Daystar's upper management had fabricated to the company's employees and the public at large. The moral hypocrisy and blatant dishonesty of the Daystar leadership became intolerable, and I lost faith in them. I resigned on May 31, 2008. Leaving Daystar did not alleviate my pain. The urge to deceive and the betrayal of those I had looked up to both left deep wounds. Over time, the emotional pain became so severe that it caused major depression. I was taken to a mental facility unwillingly. By the time November 2010 came around, since my mental state had worsened to that point. At this point, my lawyer notified Daystar's lawyer, John Lynch, that 3 of us, 2 former employees and myself, were planning to sue the company. The ramifications of this revelation would soon be shown on national television. On November 3, 2010, Daystar aired a special edition of Celebration in which Marcus Lamb admitted to being unfaithful to his wife. The Kendalls were among the guests that praised Marcus for being so forthright and honest with the public during their appearances on the show. Having said that, a lot of the details in the tale were wrong. Marcus lied about his reactions, saying he had been away from preaching for a long time, when in fact he had been away for 7 years. He also said the affair was brief, when in fact it was long. It was also misleading to portray Janice Smith as innocent because she was a senior official who knowingly took advantage of Daystar's resources. A lesson in damage control was provided by Daystar's response to the issue. Organizational executives manipulated the story to protect the network and preserve their reputations. However, the reality behind the scenes was considerably more troubling. Donations meant for a Christian ministry ended up funding clandestine travel, hush money, and a deceitful public relations campaign. The tragedy at Daystar has brought important concerns about accountability in faith-based organizations to light. What guarantees can contributors have about the responsible use of their contributions? How can employees deal with the hypocrisy of their bosses while still believing in what they believe in? An issue of paramount importance is how we, collectively, can expect more from those who claim to be Christian advocates. The events shown in Daystar do not revolve around the life of just one character. In the Christian community, there needs to be more openness and accountability among members. You have the right to ask challenging questions when donating to a ministry. Employees of a spiritually driven organization have a right to leadership that follows their religious beliefs. Furthermore, we are obligated to demand the utmost sincerity from one another and our leaders as Christ's disciples. For everyone living during my time, this is a call to arms. Accountability encourages truthful growth, whereas blind faith might lead to treachery. Praying for healing is important, but so is insisting on hearing the truth. Like, sharing, and subscribing to our channel would mean the world to us if you thought this story was relevant. We should always recognize the sacredness of truth. Leave a comment below to join the conversation. When we work together, we can illuminate even the darkest corners. Have a blessed and attentive life until we meet again.